I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
Hey, what's poppin', my homies? UFC 274. This is a big pay-per-view card. I'm excited. I'm ready to break this one down. Let's go. Now guys, just before we get into the breakdown, I want to give some shout outs real quick. These are the best comments of the last breakdown. So Sailors Clips, Max Betting Cheeto, let's go, hashtag Money City. Hey, Sailors Clips went to Money City on that one, I'm not gonna lie. PJ Rivera, rough last card for me, but I got Vera by decision and Arlovski by decision. I know some people right now are thinking Arlovski didn't win that fight, which I do agree with that. But when you have like a rough last card and then you can bounce back with a bit of luck, you know what I'm saying, you need that. Dawson 30-27, disagreed with my prediction. You know, Grant Dawson with that late stoppage, that's a great call. A big shout out to my boy Cody at Blood Money Bets. You love to see the work he's putting in. And he smashed it, you know, Cheeto Vera, that's money. Elkins over 2.5, that's money. Dawson over 2.5, that's money. You know, Andre Feely last week, guys, there would be so many more comments, but Feely took out a lot of people. Big Jim Bean, Elkins by decision, that's money. Randy Savage had Arlovski by decision, which was a lucky one, but still Money City. You know, Saudi Tomato kinda came clutch on that one, you know what I'm saying? You'd like to see that. Alright my homies, Hamzat smashed the like button, Hamzat smashed the subscribe button. Let's break them down, let's go. Alright, first matchup on this card, we've got Journey Newson taking on Fernie Garcia. Yeah, this is a difficult matchup to predict, man. What evidence is there that Journey Newson's better than Fernie Garcia? And vice versa, you know, what evidence is there that Fernie Garcia is going to be a better prediction than Journey Newson? It's pretty much boxing versus boxing in my opinion. I know you can speak a little bit about Journey Newson having like some good jiu-jitsu, but yeah, it's pretty much boxing versus boxing. Journey Newson has been away for over 2 years, which is also like a red flag. Rewatching a little bit of tape on Journey Newson, you know, the way Randy Costa KO'd him, just vicious. He really set that head kick up nicely too, you know, used the 1-2 to hide the head kick. And boy did he hide it, you know, it was vicious. Now guys, looking at Journey Newson in this fight, I know he got KO'd really badly, but let's take a look at what he was doing prior to that KO. And to be honest, what he was doing prior to that KO, I don't know what he was doing. If you go back and watch it, you know, Journey Newson trying to set up some spinning attacks or something along those lines, which is a little bit surprising because like I said, Journey Newson, in my opinion, this guy's a boxer. Now on the flip side, guys, looking at Fernie Garcia, this man's boxing on the contender, super sharp, super aggressive, super intentful. Is that a word? Intentful. You know what I'm trying to say though, the intention, you know, this guy's a boxer, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to box. That's what you want to see Journey Newson do. You know, I'm a boxer, I ain't got no time to spin. I'm going to spin your jaw with my hands, I'm going to box your jaw, you know what I'm saying? So yeah guys, I do believe it's a difficult fight to predict, but gun to the head, I'm picking Fernie Garcia. I think he's more about the boxing life than Journey Newson. One of these guys really wants to box. You know what I'm saying? I think that's Fernie. Alright, moving into the next matchup, we've got Loopy Godinez taking on Ariane Carnelossi, aka I take all of the steroids. Carnelossi takes steroids, man. Look at this girl. So yeah, man, part of me wants to be like, you know, don't even try to be technical. Don't even try to break down the fight. Just take the girl who's on steroids. That's kind of what I want to do with this matchup, but I'm going to take the girl who's not on steroids. I think the steroid girl, Carnelossi, might slow down in this fight. If you're looking at Carnelossi, aka steroid girl, you know, her career's been okay so far. On the flip side, you know, Lupita Godinez had a close debut against Jessica Penne, which I didn't think that debut was going to be that close. Then she bounces back with a nice win against Silvana Gomez, you know, the armbar, the jiu-jitsu, round 1. That was clean. Then she steps out of her weight class against Luana Carolina, which the fight was looking good early on. But the story for that matchup was Luana Carolina just too big. Now looking at her matchup against Loma, Lupita Godinez grappled. She done what she needed to do. What does she need to do to beat Carnelossi? What does she need to do to beat the steroid girl? I think she needs to do quite a few things. You know, if you're striking, obviously you don't want to let this girl hit you clean. You know, this girl's got power. pick though. If you're grappling against a steroid girl, it might be a tough fight, but ultimately you're going to slow Carnelossi down in that fight. It's really a difficult fight to predict, guys. Like I said, initially I was like, I'm just going to take the steroid girl, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take Loopy. Alright, moving into a matchup between Kleidison Rodrigues taking on CJ Vergara. Good matchup. I'm quite confident in my prediction on this one, but the last time I said that, it was against the lesser Figueiredo, and Figueiredo gets the round 1 sub. It can't be like that, you know. I'm quite confident in my prediction. I think Kleidison Rodrigues should win this fight. Now, guys, if you go back and watch Kleidison Rodrigues on the Contender, the teeps to the body, you know, this guy can kick you to the body, and it's a good weapon for Kleidison Rodrigues. On the flip side, you've got CJ Vergara, who's pretty much like a junkyard dog. You know, this guy's a dog. He debuted against Ode Osbourne, which, you know, in all honesty, the size of Ode was a problem in that fight. And I kind of think the size of Kleidison Rodrigues with that teep down the middle, that might be a problem in this fight too. If you're CJ Vergara, I think you maybe lose round 1, but then you've got to figure how to get on the inside. You've got to figure how to get past that teep. You've basically got to figure how to get into that dirty boxing range. Look to really hurt Kleidison Rodrigues, which in my opinion, guys, I think it's going to be more difficult for CJ to do that than for Kleidison to keep distance, look to fire that teep multiple times. I just feel more confident taking Kleidison Rodrigues in this matchup. It's a good matchup, but yeah, I would have to side with Kleidison Rodrigues to get a win in his UFC debut. And his UFC debut is against another guy from the Contender. So you could say it's like a Contender Series fight in the UFC. I'm taking Kleidison Rodrigues in this one. I think he's a good prospect in the sport of mixed martial arts. And if you look at the betting line, the bookies have this guy minus 300. Which is, you know, that's mad respect. Potentially a parlay piece, you know, 2-piece. Easy, nice and easy. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Tracy Cortez taking on Melissa Gatoo. Good matchmaking. It's always good matchmaking when you don't know where the easy money is, you know what I'm saying? Now looking at this one, starting off with Tracy Cortez, Tracy's done some nice work in the UFC. If you look at what Tracy Cortez is all about, it's going to be the wrestling. It's going to be the grappling. It's going to be the control. Tracy Cortez is really good at controlling you. You know, if she can take you to the mat, it might be a wrap. And even if it's not a wrap, she's probably going to take you to the mat again. She's going to look to implement her wrestling in these matchups. Now looking at the flip side, Melissa Gatoo. I took Gatoo as a nice underdog against Sijara Eubanks. And I was happy with that one. You know, round 1 it didn't look too good. But then Sijara slowed down. Melissa Gatoo using a nice sweep towards the end of that fight, getting back to the feet. So yeah, Melissa Gatoo kind of proving that she's ready for the UFC. She's ready for the highest level. If you're looking at Melissa Gatoo's skill set, it's going to be Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai, which is a pretty good skill set. And she's proven that. You know, she's proven her skill set is good to go. And it might be good to go against Tracy Cortez. You know, this is a good matchup. I do believe, though, that Tracy Cortez is going to be good enough to get this fight to the mat. Now, can Melissa Gatoo find a submission from her back if she gets taken to the mat? I wouldn't say it's impossible. I wouldn't say it's impossible, you know, and that's why it's a good matchup. Another thing to mention with this fight, Tracy Cortez can't gas out. You know, she's got to use her energy well in this matchup. Because, you know, if she wins round 1, and it's looking good, okay. But if she slows down and you're against a girl who has good jiu-jitsu, good Muay Thai, good kicks, good power, it might turn around real quick. And that's why Tracy Cortez has to show up with good cardio. Not only good cardio, but to manage the cardio. You know, energy expenditure is big in the sport of mixed martial arts. You've got to control that. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag Gina Mazzani. That girl cannot control her cardio. My prediction on this fight, guys, I'm going to have to side with Tracy Cortez. I like her wrestling. I think she manages her cardio well. It's good matchmaking. Difficult to lay the money, but yeah, I think Tracy Cortez. Alright, moving into a matchup between Francisco Trinaldo taking on Danny Roberts. Another one. It's another one that's difficult to predict. I don't know if you guys find it annoying when I say it's a difficult fight to predict, but that's that's really what this one is, man. This is a good matchup. It's difficult to lay the money. Even if it's difficult to lay the money, you know, you can still lay the money, you know, take the loss, take the win. It is what it is. But yeah, looking at the matchup we have here, Francisco Trinaldo is a veteran. This guy's a veteran. He's nearly 44 years old. At 44 years old, man, you got to put the feet up. Not Francisco Trinaldo. This guy's still inside the octagon. Now, most of Francisco's career, he has spent at lightweight. He spent at 155. But this isn't at lightweight. He's moved up to welterweight, which again, you know, it's not a decision that he wants to make, but has to make. You know, cutting weight to 155 at 44 years old is not something you can do. Now, looking at the win against Dwight Grant, you know, a split decision win against Dwight Grant. Dwight Grant's terrible. That guy's terrible. I'm sorry, I had to say it. There's nothing good to say about Dwight Grant. The guy's he's just a power puncher. And quite a bad one too. And Francisco Trinaldo just got past that. You know, that's a red flag to me. Now the flip side on Danny Roberts. Danny Roberts is primarily a boxer. He's not the best UFC fighter you've ever seen. He's not going to be a champion. But when you're looking at Danny Roberts as a mixed martial artist, it's going to be the boxing that you notice the most. If you said to me like who's got more potential to be a champion or who's going to have a better career when it's all said and done, my answer would be Francisco Trinaldo. But if you said to me who's got more chance at winning at 170 inside the big octagon on Saturday night between these two guys, I'm going Danny Roberts. I think it's a good matchup, but I like Danny Roberts. I think he's more in his prime. I think he's a good boxer. It makes a little bit more sense to me to make that prediction. Now looking at the betting line, you've got Danny Roberts at plus. My goodness. To be honest, man, this matchup is maybe one of the worst matchups on this card. You've got Blagoy Ivanov taking on Marcus Rogerio de Lima. Is anyone really targeting this fight? You know, is anyone looking at this matchup thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to make some money here. This is a great spot to bet. Absolutely not. I believe everyone's looking at this matchup thinking, I hope it ends round one. I hope we can move on with the card. Now looking at Blagoy Ivanov, I guarantee you they mention this guy was stabbed. I guarantee when this guy's walking to the octagon, they say this guy got stabbed. And the reason why they're going to say that is because it's true. It's a miracle that Blagoy Ivanov is here. And amen to that, you know. Looking at the UFC career Blagoy Ivanov has had, debuted against JDS, which was a mismatch in all honesty. Then he fought Ben Rothwell, and then he fought Taito Varza, which he grappled a little bit in that fight. Against Derek Lewis, you know, that was a close one. Against Augusto Sakai, that was also a close one. On the flip side, Marcus Rogerio de Lima, what he done to Ben Rothwell, nearly illegal. It was nearly illegal. I really don't know what's going to happen in this matchup, guys. I think Blagoy Ivanov might try to grapple, might try to use that sambo. On the flip side, Marcus Rogerio de Lima has good calf kicks, has good KO power, but yeah, I'm not sure it's going to land. I'm going to side with Blagoy Ivanov. If you can get stabbed and make it still, and make it to the UFC after being stabbed, yeah, I'll make that pick. I'll take Blagoy Ivanov in this weird fight. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between Brandon Royval taking on Matt Schnell. I'm going to spark the blunt, get a little bit high on this breakdown. I know it's before the smoke break, but it's UFC 274 and it's Brandon Royval. This guy's crazy. Now guys, one thing I like about Brandon Royval, like I said, the guy's a little bit crazy. You could say this is like Tim Elliott's son. You know, Tim Elliott has a son. His name is Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval is going to show you 20 different techniques in the space of 10 seconds. You know, jab, overhand, kick, knee, elbow, jab, overhand, uppercut, hook. It's a lot from Brandon Royval. And I kind of like that from Brandon Royval. You know, it's difficult to deal with. Not only is Brandon Royval going to show you so many different techniques, not only is the output going to be really high on Brandon Royval's side, you know, the cardio is really good. He can keep that output. You know, it's high output and it don't stop, which is a good thing for the judges, man. You give them a lot of techniques, a lot to see, a lot to score, a lot to like. Now, the fighter Brandon Royval isn't a perfect fighter. There is going to be some downsides. I would say there's two downsides to Brandon Royval. Like I say, the output's high, there's a lot of techniques. You know, at times he should be a little bit more composed. The example I want to give is against Pantoja. You know, Pantoja was done. He was gassed. He was ready to quit in that fight. And that's where if you're Brandon Royval, you know, you've done the work. The work's been done. Now you've just got to be a little bit more composed, you know, more in control of the steering wheel. Be more in control of what you're doing at this point. Another thing about Brandon Royval that's probably not the best is going to be the chin. He can dish out a lot of techniques, but if you smack him clean, he will go to the mat. He will wobble. He will show signs that he did not like that. So that's really what Matt Schnell has to do here. You know, he's going to be beaten on output. He's probably going to be beaten from that striking standpoint, but if he can just clip the chin of Brandon Royval, you know, there's a slight chance that he can win the fight. Or even if he chooses to grapple Brandon Royval, that might be a way to go in this fight if you're Matt Schnell. But then again, Brandon Royval has good jiu-jitsu. The guy's scrappy. He can find arm bars. He can find all of that stuff. It's a good matchup, guys, but I'm going to side with Brandon Royval. Hashtag Raw Dog, let's go. It just makes a little bit more sense to me to make that pick. The output, the cardio, the techniques, the pressure, all of that stuff I'm liking on Brandon Royval. Hey, let's go, man. Female MGK. Yeah, Macy cheers on. Female MGK. Hey, you gotta be mad if you think I'm picking Norma Dumont. There's no way. Listen, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, okay? Norma Dumont can be a bigger puncher. She can have better grappling. She can have better jiu-jitsu. She can be a better kicker. She can have all the advantages she wants in this matchup. Having said all of that, it's female MGK, bro. Come on, man, we're picking Macy cheers on. It doesn't make sense, but it's female MGK, so we're making that pick. And by the way, guys, you know, Eminem did kill MGK, but this is female MGK. You know, female MGK is lit right now. Not super lit, obviously, you know, lost to Raquel Pennington, but she was doing okay in that matchup. But what are you gonna do, pick against female MGK? I don't think so. That's gonna be my prediction. Let's go. Alright guys, moving into a matchup that I will take more seriously. I've got no loyalties in this one. Randy Brown taking on Chaos Williams. This is a great matchup. You know, we've got to speak about Chaos Williams. The guy can knock you dead. The guy can connect you to the Shadow City server. If Chaos Williams can find that shot, you know, good chance you get knocked out. Good chance you go for a little nap. You know what I'm saying? On the flip side, guys, Randy Brown is a really decent mixed martial artist. This guy's difficult to fight against. And one of the main reasons why he's difficult to fight against, look at the height, look at the reach of Randy Brown. He's not like a James Vick or a Stefan Struve who can't really use that height and reach. Randy Brown can use it well. In my opinion, one of the best ways to compete with Randy, you've got to kick the legs. You have got to kick this man's legs. There's so much leg that you have got to kick them. But when you look at Chaos Williams as a fighter, he's not really much of a kicker. And you kind of see that in the last matchup. If you look at Miguel was landing calf kick after calf kick. But the point I want to make is, if you're getting calf kicked, you're not going to really be the calf kicker. You see what I'm saying? So ultimately, if Chaos Williams wants to win this fight, he's just got to find that knockout shot. And he's kind of good at doing it. He is good at doing that. You know, even if you're beating Chaos Williams, you know, you're winning round 1, you're winning round 2. He's not out of the fight. It only takes one shot. My prediction on this matchup, I'm going to side with Randy Brown. I think he's a little bit more technical than Chaos Williams. I'm not saying that Chaos Williams can't find that shot. He has found that shot many times. But like I said, Randy Brown's not like a James Vick. He's not like a Stefan Struve. He does use the reach pretty good. And I kind of expect him to do that against Chaos Williams. So that's going to be my prediction. I know Vicente Luque completely dusted Randy Brown, you know, it was really bad. But again, Chaos Williams isn't like a really good Muay Thai fighter. He's more like a, you know, you're going to beat me until I find that shot type of guy. So maybe you just bet Chaos Williams TKO if you do want to bet on Chaos. Unless you think he can win a decision, which I think is more in the favour of Randy Brown. Purely because Randy Brown's more technical, you know, he's going to find the jab, he's going to find the low kicks. He's going to make it difficult for Chaos Williams to find those shots. It makes more sense to me that Randy Brown would win this fight over 15 minutes, and I think he can do that. That's going to be my prediction. And looking at the betting line, you've got plus money on Randy Brown. I like that. Alright, moving into a matchup between Andre Filho taking on Cameron Van Camp.
Who is that guy?
I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. My prediction on this fight, guys, I'm going to side with Andre Filho. And the main reason why I'm going to do that, if you look at the UFC debut, he did kind of show us that he can box. He was showing that against Michel Pereira. Now, speaking about the matchup between Andre and Miguel, I said it was kicking versus boxing. Andre Filho just had to find that shot, and he did. The boxing was clean. My prediction on this fight, I'm going to side with the guy who's training out of Sanford, the guy who just got a nice knockout. I'm going to take the boxer, Andre Filho, to win this fight. Alright, my homies, you know what time it is. And if you don't know what time it is, now you know, or you best get to know. If you waited to smoke with me, amen. If you've been smoking this whole time, double amen. If you're not a smoker but you enjoy the smoke breaks, that's a triple amen, gang. Let's go. You gotta get super stoned on a UFC 274 breakdown. You gotta, man. It's the principle. You know what I'm saying? Same as last week, guys. If you've got a Money City play, use that hashtag in the comment section. If you've got the hashtag 2Fight Parlay, use that in the comment section. Let's go. I'm looking to make money on this one. I think everyone's looking to make money, you know what I'm saying? If you want all of the bets that I'm personally going to be placing on UFC 274, there is only one way to do that, and that's to join the Patreon, so check that out. And make sure you join the Discord group, which is also a part of the Patreon. Guys, just before we end the smoke break, I want to give a shout out to Saudi Tomato. Yeah, shout out to Saudi Tomato. And you know why I'm shouting him out, you know, the Arlovsky decision. In my opinion, it's a disgrace. But finally, yeah, the disgrace goes for me rather than against me. So you've got to take that. Anytime you can take a robbery on your side, you've got to take that. Because you know you're going to have the robberies go against you. You know, you've got to take that. So yeah, hashtag Saudi Tomato with the disgraceful scorecard. It worked for me. Alright guys, let's get into this main card. UFC 274. Alright guys, we got a matchup between Donald Cerrone taking on Joe Lauzon. Both of these guys are veterans. Both of these guys are legends. And it's a matchup you've got to make a pick. Now looking at Donald Cerrone, you know, this guy hasn't won a fight in quite a long time. But it's Donald Cerrone. You know, it's cowboy Donald Cerrone, man. Come on. What Alex Morono done to him in his last fight, it hurt. You know what I'm saying? That one hurt. I'm sure a lot of people watching that fight thinking, hey, Donald Cerrone, man, you've got to retire. You can't let that happen to you, man. It's Donald Cerrone. Now, the opponent, Joe Lauzon, hasn't fought in over 2.5 years. But looking back at what he'd done to Jonathan Pierce, it was nasty work. It was veteran work. It was good work. You're not going to teach Joe Lauzon anything new. You're not going to teach Donald Cerrone anything new. Both of these guys know what to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, you've got a matchup between two veterans who shouldn't be fighting in the UFC at this point. Having said all of that, I'm taking Donald Cerrone, bro. Everyone should be taking Donald Cerrone. You know, even if Joe Lauzon takes Donald Cerrone to the mat, gets around one stoppage, you still pick Donald Cerrone. You pick Donald Cerrone here all day. Now guys, looking at the betting line, I kinda expected to see Donald Cerrone plus money. So in my opinion, I'm gonna pick Donald Cerrone, but I'm not gonna bet on this fight. No way. I do want to see Donald Cerrone get that win. I want to see that, and hopefully we get to see that. So yeah, that's going to be my prediction. Alright guys, moving into a matchup between OSP taking on Shogun. You know, this is pretty much like the breakdown we just spoke about. You've got two legends, two veterans. Who do you pick? To be honest, I kinda want to pick no one. I don't want to pick anyone. Make it a no contest. Make it a doctor stoppage. But yeah, we got to make a pick on this fight. Should these guys be inside the UFC? Should they be fighting at this level? Probably not. It's not really a matchup where I think you should be laying too much money. OSP has good kicks. You know, the guy's a really good kicker. He's going to take you to the mat, try to find that OSP choke, which is called the Von Flue choke, but it really should just be the OSP choke. On the flip side, you've got Shogun. You know, the guy's a legend, the guy's a veteran. If you're Shogun in this matchup, you've got to just try to box. Just try to find that shot against OSP. I'm going to pick OSP, and I don't feel good about that pick. Now guys, just before we finish the breakdown, minus 250 on OSP. It's a really bad price. And what the bookies are trying to do with this matchup, They're basically saying OSP has more chance, but they're not going to give you like good odds. They're going to say OSP minus 250. So looking at who's the better play from a gambling perspective, I would say it's Shogun at plus 200. But you are going to have people that say, well, even though Shogun might be a better play from a gambling point of view, I think OSP wins. So that's going to be the better play from a gambling point of view, really. And to those people, I would say the best advice I could give you if you really want to play OSP, the best advice I could give you, in my opinion, minus 250 straight up in this fight, I wouldn't do it. So what I would do if I had to play OSP, I would parlay him in a 2-piece. That's what I would do if I was forced to bet OSP. I'd find a 2-piece parlay and then smack that for a unit. But yeah guys, I'm not going to bet this fight. My prediction will be OSP. Alright guys, moving into the business end of the card. Michael Chandler taking on Tony Ferguson. We got to spark the blunt. Let's start by saying Tony Ferguson is not the same Tony Ferguson. Right, it kind of pains you to say that. You know, Tony Ferguson has taken a lot of damage. You could be specific and say like the Justin Gaethje fight, but really Tony Ferguson has taken a lot of damage prior to that fight. That fight does stand out though. Now looking at Michael Chandler, you know, this guy came into the UFC and completely dusted Dan Hooker. And then he gets the title fight against Charlie Olives, which he was close. He was close in round 1. And then Charles Oliveira catches him with a nice short lead hook. Real nice. And guys, you've got to remember, it's not the big shots that hurt the most. The shots that hurt the most are always going to be the shots you don't see. And that short lead hook, he didn't see it. Now looking at Michael Chandler against Justin Gaethje, you know, this matchup was a barn burner. Which kind of proves, you know, it's the shots you don't see that hurt the most. I think Tony Ferguson, you know, has to find like a submission. Just has to try find something in this matchup. I don't see it, guys. I'm going to side with Michael Chandler. I hope Tony Ferguson shows more than what he's shown against Beneil Dariush. What he showed against Charlie Oliveira. You know, I think he's going to lose the fight. But I hope he can just show a little bit more. You know, I want to see Tony Ferguson beat Al Kukui. I want to see the boogeyman. But yeah, guys, like I said at the start of the breakdown, I think that Tony Ferguson now is not the Tony Ferguson of a few years ago. And that's why I've got to side with Michael Chandler in this matchup. Alright my homies, co-main event, we've got Rose Namajunas taking on Carla Esparza. You sparked the blunt again. Guys, tell me if I'm wrong with this, but Carla Esparza's like the blonde Brunson of the females. You know what I'm saying? She's a wrestler. She's an underdog. She'll take you down. She defies the odds. You know, that's what the Cookie Monster's been doing. She's a wrestler. She will take you to the mat. She done that to Verna Jandiroba. She done that to Alexa Grasso. Against Yan, the ground and pound. Oh my goodness. Now guys, on the flip side, you've got the champion. You've got the girl who's got the movement, got the striking, got the skill set, got the jiu-jitsu. Rose Namajunas. She's the real deal. I could speak all day about Rose Namajunas, man. Her skill set is phenomenal. You see that against Weili Zhang. And you see that in the rematch against Weili too. You know, the IQ in the last round to get the takedown. I don't think she's going to be trying to take Carla to the mat. But it just goes to show just how good of a champion Rose Namajunas is. Guys, like I said, Carla Esparza is like the blonde Brunson. She's gonna come with the takedown. She's already got a win over Rose Namajunas. Having said all of that, I'm Team G.I. Jane. Can't wait to see it. I really think this is a title defense. You know what I'm saying? Rose Namajunas, man. She's gonna win this fight. I'm gonna make that pick. Let's go Rose Namajunas. Alright, my homies, main event. The last time we'll be sparking on this card. If you enjoy my breakdowns, enjoy my content, make sure you smash the subscribe button. Amen to that. Alright guys, we got Charles Oliveira, Charlie Olives taking on the human highlight, Justin Gaethje. Now I kind of think this main event, you know, it doesn't really need speaking about. I feel like a lot of people know what this fight is, but we've got to break it down. If we're starting with Charles Oliveira, I think we start by saying he's the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in the UFC. And that's the type of statement that I feel like it would be difficult to argue against. I feel like most people would agree with that. So already you're fighting against a guy who is the best at one thing. He's the best at folding you up. Now, is Charles Oliveira, Charlie Olives, the best at striking? Is he the best at competing in a kickboxing battle? I'm going to say no on that one. You know, he was close to being stopped by Michael Chandler. Dustin Poirier hurt him in round 1. You know, he was close to being stopped in round 1 in that fight too. You know, even though he's proven, look, this skill set, this jiu-jitsu that I have, it's made me champion. Even though he's proven that, you look at the fight against Chandler and Dustin Poirier, you can see the skill set in the kickboxing isn't the same. And I'm not saying that he can't strike. I'm just saying he was close to being beaten in the kickboxing. Now, on the flip side, you've got a guy in Justin Gaethje who literally prides himself in that kickboxing fight. You've literally got a guy who has never had a bad UFC fight. Not one time has Justin Gaethje got in the octagon and it wasn't a great fight. Or a starch-in, you know, round 1, James Vick, round 1, Edson Barboza. Anytime Justin Gaethje gets inside the octagon, it's gonna be fireworks. Now guys, I just want to speak about a little pattern that I've noticed. Dustin Poirier fought Khabib, he got choked out. He fought him for a title, obviously, right? He lost that title fight, he got choked out. And then Dustin Poirier fought Charles Oliveira, he got choked out in that title fight. Justin Gaethje fought Khabib for a title. He got choked out. Justin Gaethje fought Charles Oliveira for a title and becomes the new lightweight champion. And new Justin Gaethje. He wins the fight. He breaks the cycle. Guys, I'm making that pick. I think Justin Gaethje gets it done. I think if he hurts Oliveira the way Chandler and Poirier did, I don't think he's surviving. The guy prides himself on violence, and the violence has become more controlled. It's controlled chaos. Now, obviously, guys, if Charles Oliveira takes down Justin Gaethje or takes the back one time, the prediction's complete trash, obviously. But that's what we've got. We've got a title fight against two killers. Who are you going to pick? And new. That's my prediction, bro. Let's go. My prediction is Justin Gaethje becomes the new lightweight champion, and I'm gonna stick by that until proven wrong. And of course, guys, you get the plus money, just like Marlon Vera, just like Bilal Muhammad. My main event predictions have been money. Maybe I'm expected to lose on this one, but yeah, I'm taking Justin Gaethje. I think he gets it done. As always, my homies, drop down your Money City plays, underdogs, main event. Drop all of that in the comment section. And as always, man, keep your eyes to the sky, never glued to your shoes. Mac Miller. Alright, peace.